chancellor. So Lou will wait for that issue. So it's my pleasure to actually introduce someone who will introduce the chancellor for the address. So I'd like to call on my good friend and longtime board member Bill Houck to help us with that introduction. You know, Bill has been on this board since 1993 and is our longest serving member of the Board of Trustees in this system. He's been a mentor to me and to members of the board around this table today. Uniquely appointed by both Democratic and Republican governors, which is an indication of respect that folks have had for Bill on both sides of the aisle. Problem solver, bridge builder, and obviously keenly aware of the issues that have affected this system from a historical perspective. His efforts on behalf of the CSU extend far beyond this boardroom. He's worked hard in Sacramento, taking on the very governors and the legislature that appointed and confirmed him. And 2 years ago, he and his wife made significant contribution to the Trustees Scholarship Fund for his alma mater at San Jose State. So you can see that in 2012, when Chancellor Reed retired, I simply went to one location for a chair for that search. Bill's experience not only helped us during this search, but he reached back to the annals of history for when we chose Chancellor Reed. So his tireless contributions to our system, I find it only fitting to yield the mic to Trustee Houck for the introduction of Chancellor White.
Okay, Bob, thank you. Didn't expect to hear all of that. It's true, I've been on this board for, some would argue, way too long. About 23 years now. Actually, the students would be interested to know that I was the first student that ever attended CSU board meetings without any formal sanction by the board starting in 1960. And I dare say that none of you were alive at the time. As Bob indicated, I have been privileged to serve with this board, which has been distinguished over the years, and with the people on this board. I was involved in chairing the search for two chancellors, Charlie Reed, along with Martha Fallgetter, and Tim White. And I think we've already discovered that we made a really, really good choice. So without further ado, Chancellor Tim White, and I don't know if this is the first state of the CSU speech. I can't remember another one, so I'm really looking forward to this one, Tim.
Don't we have a video?
Well, I want to thank Bill and Bob, and many thanks to the governor and our students, our trustees, the presidents, the vice chancellors, the advisory and foundation board members, members from the community, our special guests to join today to reflect on the state of the California State University. As you know, since its formation in 1960, the CSU has magnified its vision, its depth, its breadth, and its reach of higher education across this great state of California. As you know, nearly 3 million students have graduated. We've helped transform California's economy, and we have spurred social mobility. The California State University is the largest comprehensive bachelor and graduate degree university in the world. We are arguably the best degree in the country when it comes to modest cost to the students, their families, and to the state. We are also arguably the best degree in the country for high value and impact to the student, to the employers, to the communities in the state. And we offer this learning opportunity to all members of the quilted fabric that we love to call California, as long as they have the aptitude and the willingness to do the work. Indeed, you can say that our privilege, our strength, is to develop human potential across the entire society, not just those who've come from opportunity and privilege. I've visited the 23 campuses and I've seen us in action. I've met with students and faculty, staff and community members and partners who help us fulfill this mission, this noble mission, every single day. And I learned of the core activities of our dedicated professionals in this building, the Chancellor's office, and our offices in Sacramento and Washington, D.C. And I thank everyone for their efforts to both welcome and inform me to the CSU. So I know enough now about us to report that the state of the California State University is strong, it is proud, and it is aspirational. What we do is simply remarkable, and California needs more of it. Our state needs 1 million more graduates by 2025 to enable the health of our economy. This need is enormous, and we must intensify our efforts to do our part to meet this need. And to this end, then, I will work with faculty and staff, with campus and Chancellor's office leadership, with students, alumni, trustees, the governor, to further invigorate our efforts on student achievement and degree completion. The CSU will invest an additional $50 million in 7 key areas designed directly to advance student achievement and high-quality degree completion. Now, to achieve this ambitious goal is going to require a solid and sustained commitment from the people of the CSU. And it will also require investment by our public and private partners across California. But it will all be done with an eye on a collective goal, a strong, successful, and prosperous future for our students, our communities, our state, and our nation. Let me begin with where it also ends, and that is our students. There are so many important and different ways we can characterize our students. Suffice it to say, they cover the spectrum of society on every imaginable descriptor. We are, in fact, the People's University. I'd like to comment today on just one characteristic for a large segment of our students, and that is those coming from low-income households. You know, in analyzing our students this past year, I want you to listen carefully to these numbers. There's not too many of them, but they're profound. Looking at our students, 145,000 of them have incomes in the lowest quintile, the lowest 20% of the income stratification in California. 145,000 students whose income is less than or equal to, in their household, $20,262. 2 weeks ago, the White House administration met with 100 leaders in higher education to discuss increasing college opportunities for low-income students. And the California State University was there front and center because we are an exemplar for the nation in this regard. The national data is as shocking as it is unacceptable for a healthy society. If a person is born into the lowest quintile of the economic strata, the lowest 20%, and does not earn a college degree, that person has a 5% chance of making it to the top 20% during their working life, a 5% chance. But if they have a college degree, that opportunity increases fourfold by having a college degree. And to move simply from the lowest 20% to the next lowest 20%, without a college degree, it's 55%, and with it's 84%. So when you think that 39% of our student body fits into this income profile, it helps increase the appreciation for the power of this 23 campus system in profoundly transforming lives. On the campuses, I had an honor of understanding their unique characteristics and the strengths of each. I learned the range of innovative, meaningful, and relevant learning and discovery opportunities for our students. To highlight just a few, the focused educational programs of undergraduate, graduate, doctoral degrees, and certificates that attend to our state's workforce needs and help employees remain relevant in an ever-changing economy. Applied research with heavy student involvement in laboratories, fields, clinics, studios, and public schools, along with scholarly and creative activity that supports classroom teaching and engages students, resulting in higher rates of persistence and degree completion. Service learning that engages the students in the community to apply their knowledge to skill to real-world challenges and opportunities, better preparing them for the workplace, but also helping the communities along the way. And a growing and impressive array of online, hybrid, and flipped educational courses and options. The African American, Asian Pacific Islander, Latino, and Native American outreach initiatives that are unique to the CSU and the nation are profound. They highlight our efforts to serve these students in partnership with members of the faith-based communities, cultural organizations, civic groups, as well as local school districts and the California community colleges. And I'm delighted to see Eloy Oakley here today from Long Beach Community College. These efforts speak to increasing the access, the achievement, the graduation, and employment of these historically underserved populations. We should be proud that the CSU covers the long ground, taking students from the whole spectrum of academic readiness and helping them transform into dynamic leaders, change agents who are ready to improve California and the world, to change it for the better. We must remain focused on this learning and creative environment as job one, where students, faculty, and the vital work of our staff create a learning experience that embraces a multifaceted student body and all of its members. I am proud of what we do. I am proud of whom we serve and how much value to their lives and to the public good that we add. We are truly first in class in what we do. You know, we owe a great debt of thanks to the architects of the master plan for higher education in California, for who we are today, and especially for folks like me and many else in this room who have benefited from each level of California's educational system. But the master plan now is more than 50 years old. It was written for students and society in another time. Our state's population has more than doubled since 1960. Our student body at the CSU is almost 5 times what it was in 1960. And our state is pressed with changing needs, new challenges that those plans' authors could never have even imagined. That's why we will be wise to assess our future through the lens of the master plan while understanding the need to bring it into the 21st century. I must also mention that our infrastructure at CSU is frayed in 3 vital areas: people, physical structures, of which we discussed some this morning, and technology. And to be responsible stewards of this amazing university, we're going to have to invest in all 3 areas to fulfill our mission in educating hundreds of thousands of Californians today and in the decades ahead. This observation should not be a surprise to you. We've been navigating for quite some time in a sea of increased student demand, increased societal need, and doing so with decreased overall resources. The recession did not start this, but it did accelerate the deterioration of our infrastructure. From a structural facility standpoint alone, our buildings are aging and many in need of repair or replacement. Of our state-owned buildings, 48% of them, Bill, 48% of them are 40 years old or older. Indeed, the CSU's deferred maintenance and capital renewal, as you heard this morning, is approaching $2 billion, which includes almost $500 million in priority deferred maintenance. On the student side, we are currently receiving the same amount of money from the general fund in constant dollars that we did 20 years ago, and yet we're serving 100,000 more full-time students at CSU. At the same time, we're facing a growing need for residents with college degrees. The Public Policy Institute of California, among others, has estimated that our state will need about 60,000 more baccalaureate degrees per year to reach the goal of 1 million additional college graduates by 2025. And this goal was set to sustain our leadership in California in the knowledge-based global economy in which we compete. So to meet this goal, we're going to require a rate of degree production that's about 40% higher in California, 40% higher in California than current levels. And given that we award nearly 1/2 of the state's baccalaureate degrees, that outcome then weighs heavily on our shoulders in this university system. And given the state's demographic realities, the CSU's challenge and opportunity here will continue to be serving those students who are often the most difficult to reach. Those are working age adults and Californians who come from low-income households. The demand for us is certainly there. This year we received the largest number of applications in our history, some 760,000 applications from about 284,000 students. This is an increase of nearly 10% over just the last 2 years. With the pressure of these demands internally and externally, we cannot simply replace what we had in the past. We must redesign with a new focus on our greatest areas of need. That does not mean rebuilding in the sense of replacing old broken windows that were lost with the economic storm with identical new ones, but rather it means redesigning and revitalizing the core of our mission. Our top priority must be to firm up both the fiscal as well as the policy commitments to access, to persistence to degree, and to completion of degree, and to improve the educational experience and degree attainment for all students, and to enable them to earn a high-quality degree in a shorter amount of time. We must simply maintain a laser-like focus on student achievement and the forward-looking growth of this great state of California. So this vision for CSU gives consideration to the enormous potential of the 23 campuses that I enjoyed visiting, the workforce needs of our state, and the demographic and preparedness characteristics of our current and future students. As a university system, we shall provide design and policy principles to guide the campuses, yet we should embrace the diverse approaches by the campuses. Firm on goals and accountability, loose on means. Now, we've already made important progress in this direction. Our efforts in online learning, associate degrees for transfer, our graduation initiative established a solid foundation for our work. And the past 10 years have been the most productive since the CSU was created, with almost 900,000 degrees granted over this last decade. But we need to design innovative ways to do more and to harness the talents and resources of our partners. The graduation initiative, which you'll hear more about later today, includes strategies for improving access, persistence to degree completion, and graduation rates. My vision is to energize this commitment to improve the graduation rate even further by refocusing the initiative around 7 key areas that will facilitate student success and achievement and degree completion. And toward this ambitious, difficult, and essential goal, we're committing a total of $50 million. And for that investment, we will work to improve the graduation rates over the next 10 years for all categories of undergraduate students that start with us by 10%, and by community college transfers by 5%. We will seek also to achieve better learning experience for these students. It's going to be harder to quantify that, but it includes such high-quality learning attributes as engaged, contextualized, rigorous, and experiential. And for those who ask about the cost of undertaking this project, I reply, it is not a cost. It is an investment. The cost to California will occur if we don't do it. The liability to California will occur with more unemployment costs, more costs for social services in the criminal justice system, and state revenue foregone because of lower wages. For us to meet the state's projected workforce need to help grow our economy, this revitalization process requires all of us to work together to contribute to this vision of student achievement and degree completion. The 7 key areas include tenure-track faculty hiring. We're committing to appoint more tenure-track faculty in areas that matter most to California's future and begin to reverse the long declining ratio of tenured and tenure-track faculty to lecturers. Why is this important? It's our outstanding faculty that go above and beyond to help students secure a meaningful future. Consider Matthias Selka, an accomplished chemistry professor in Los Angeles campus. He's been extraordinarily successful in mentoring disadvantaged students who then go on to participate in young scholar training programs sponsored by the National Institute of Health and the National Science Foundation. Second, we're going to enhance advising. We'll appoint more professional staff advisors on campuses to leverage the work already underway with e-advising technologies and current staff that give real-time advice for students. Why is this important? Well, it can be a make or break issue for students like our guardian scholars who are former foster youth. Just ask Robin Harney. She's at Fullerton, who stated, when you grow up in foster care or in the court system, college can be difficult to navigate. The program is there to help you every step of the way with every issue you have. When you're in the program, you are never alone, which is something really meaningful to foster youth. The Bottleneck Initiative, we're going to expand our investment to find more innovative solutions for bottleneck courses, to support more online concurrent cross-campus enrollment courses, and to provide students with more choices for filling their schedules with courses they need when they can take them because of life's other responsibilities. Consider the words of Devin Graves, a political science major at Cal Poly Pomona. Devin cleared a hurdle thanks to online concurrent enrollment. He says, I wasn't able to clear an area from my general education requirements because I had an art requirement I had to meet, and there weren't enough sections offered or the times didn't work with my schedule. With the implementation of the pilot concurrent enrollment program, which we did this last fall, I was able to complete the requirements because a course was offered that fulfilled that area. Fourth of 7 areas is student preparation. We must invest more to help incoming first-year students attain college readiness before arriving on campus and support underserved students by expanding early start. You know, this issue is not our fault per se, but it is our problem. Why do we want to attack this? Well, many students are inspired by Victor Marino, who arrived in the United States at age 14 with limited knowledge of English. He went on to be the first of his family to go to college, get his bachelor's degree from Channel Islands campus, and now works there as a student success coordinator, where he helps underserved students in science, technology, engineering, and math gain tutoring support, mentoring, and encouragement. Fifth is high impact practices. We're going to invest to accelerate the implementation of these practices that drive student achievement. The data is stunningly clear on that. This includes service learning, undergraduate participation in research, internships, study abroad, first-year learning communities that support persistence to degree completion. Why do we say it's high impact? Well, first of all, engaged students persist and get to degree and get to it sooner. But even on the community side, as Cristina Gonzalez Salgado said, who's a service learning coordinator at the Pomona campus, observes there's a community benefit where all of our partners say, your students are wonderful, send more. They've helped us look at things differently. 6, we have to expand our data-based decision-making. We're going to expand data collection and data-driven decision-making to improve the quality of our programs and implement programs that advance student success. Why is this important? Well, to be the wisest decision makers, they need to be evidence and data-based. And oftentimes, we can't access that information in a timely fashion on a campus or across the system without making 23 phone calls. And finally, we're going to bolster the transfer degree completion rates, improve access and degree completion within 2 years by community college transfer students through a host of new strategies, including admissions preference. Why? Well, it's a program that helps students like Ken Fitzgerald, who transferred from Shasta to Chico with the associate degree for transfer and is pursuing a degree in organizational studies. He says, I'll tell any first-year freshman at a community college to get the associate degree for transfer program right away because it's so much easier than going in circles like I did at first. They'll show you how to get from point A to point B. I was very happy with the program, and we're going to continue to work with the California community colleges in advocating in Sacramento for a $5 million supplement to fund the outreach and marketing effort, highlighting that Associate of Arts transfer degree and CSU's commitment to have transfer students graduate in 4 years. So it's critical that the resources identified for each of these 7 key areas be thoughtfully, carefully, and efficiently deployed. We will benefit by proper consultation with faculty, with staff and students, and use data to guide us in making decisions and the investments so we can leverage and expand these academic programs and support services in a manner that best promotes student satisfaction, student success, and degree completion. And moving forward with partners is the only way we can do this. So it'll be hand in hand with the governor, with folks in Washington, D.C., legislators, colleagues in the P through 12 system, community colleges, the University of California, business and community organizations, our trustees, faculty, staff, and students, and anybody else I didn't mention. We're going to reach out also to the public at large because, after all, they are the ultimate shareholders in the CSU. And we'll keep them informed of the outcomes from their investment and the care that we take as stewards of this remarkable university. So let me finish by stating I could have spent our time today informing you of our most visible alumni and the great work they do. I could have, but I didn't stand before you today and recite the numbers, our CEOs, our legislators, our research funding, our economic impact, the success of our alumni who are the titans of industry and business and agriculture, education, healthcare, high technology, aerospace, entertainment and hospitality, public service, as impressive as that speech might have been. Had I taken that approach, however, it would have been a disservice to you because CSU is so much more than that. In this way, we are simply a unique, vibrant, and valuable institution on the largest scale in America. To make our state foundationally strong, we also need more CEOs of community. And that too is what Cal State produces, the public good, the common good. Sure, we have students who take longer than average to get a degree, and it's simple to read off that statistic and be concerned. We will indeed do better with degree completion. I probably said it 50 times already this morning. But dive deep and meet the students and communities that I have met, and you'll find that single student, and you'll find thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of them, who may be a single parent, working 2 jobs, and taking classes whenever possible. That student is the CEO of that household, and earning a degree makes more of a difference in that person's household, street, and community than anything else, let alone the inspiration of that student's sacrifice and effort on his or her children. And that's what makes Cal State so truly unique. It is our public good. Yes, we are a private good for that single parent and all others who carry life's full responsibilities while being a student, but we're a public good to her children, neighbors, and state, and indeed we serve the wide and brilliant swath of California's fabric. We are here to give students across the spectrum of ages, whether they are poor, first in their family to venture beyond high school, or one who has no family, the opportunity to impact her life, his life, and the lives around them. Our faculty, staff, students, and supporters are here because of our public mission. We care about the public good of the university through the success of our alumni and our overall economic and social impact. And we care about the impact we make in the individual lives of our students, but know that impact is really only the first ripple in the pond of their community. This year, our 44,000 faculty and staff will touch over 437,000 students. And when June comes around, we will celebrate the achievements, the graduation of 100,000 people. But we celebrate not because of the difference we made only in their lives, but we celebrate because of the difference we make in the communities that they call home. And we do so proudly because we are the California State University, a public good worthy of public and private investment. We produce the graduates that are needed to lead and improve the quality of life for all peoples in the state of California and this nation. And our university was founded with a clear and important vision. But going forward, we must both lead and adapt to societal change. We need to respond to our state's need for more graduates with a strategic redesign and revitalization of our mission and our goals. We will move forward with a strong mission and goals for student achievement and high-quality degree completion, and we're committing to invest $50 million in new resources on that priority alone. While this mission and goals are ambitious, I understand that, they're also essential, and they are truly achievable. As we embrace the pathway forward, we urge our trustees, our policymakers, our fellow educators, and the public to stand with us in support of the students of today and of tomorrow. I look forward to continuing this journey together. It is not back to the future. It is our future. It is the future, and it will become our legacy. Thank you very much.
Very well done.
Very well done. Thank you.